I would never turn a supporter in for a crime. You have doctor-patron confidentiality. What do you mean I'm not a real doctor? All right. Well, support the habit anyway at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. It's a classic thought experiment. What would you do if your best friend committed a crime and you found out about it? Would you turn him in? Would you take matters into your own hands and solve the problem old Yeller style? Don't worry, justice system. He's my friend. I'll do it. Or would you help them try and cover up any evidence, provide an alibi, maybe even assist them in further crimes for a cut of any profits? Obviously, you want to know, what's the crime? Like, did they rob a bank, or did they murder Bob Barker days before his 100th birthday just because they thought it'd be funny? How good a friend are they? Is this my friend I've known since grade school but haven't seen in a while? Or my current best friend who I met a couple years ago at work that I cling to now because all my old friends moved or started families and got on with their lives while I didn't? Well, for some people, this isn't a thought experiment. It's reality, and we know exactly what their choices are. As you may or may not have heard, Danny Masterson, the dude who played troubled teenager Hyde on That 70s Show, and card-carrying Scientologist, was convicted of raping 2 women, now former Scientologists who have left the church. Probably because, the rape? That always shakes people's faith in any religion. Hard to say why a person in power abusing them would make a person leery of other powerful individuals. I don't know. Anyway, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. And it was revealed that prior to sentencing, his former co-stars Ashton, Kutcher, and Mila Kunis wrote character letters in support of their pal Danny. Now, this kinda seems worse than covering up a crime. Like, now you've been told your friends have committed a crime. Maybe you didn't believe it at first, but now he's gone through the justice system, been convicted of that crime, proven guilty in a court of law, and your first thought is, I should tell the judge what a good guy he is. I won't read the letters to you in full, though I'll put a link to the article with them in the description, but Mila mentions that one of the most remarkable aspects of Danny's character is his unwavering commitment to discouraging the use of drugs. Well, that's interesting. He really took say no to drugs to heart, but not no means no. Anyway, she calls him an outstanding role model and friend twice, tells us that she believes it's essential to share the remarkable influence Danny has had on her life and the lives of others. Well, all but 2 others apparently. Mentions his unwavering commitment to being a parent and an older brother figure. Mila's really demonstrating an unwavering commitment to not consult a fucking thesaurus while writing this letter. She ends the letter by writing, in conclusion, like it's an 8th grade book report, mentions his drug-free lifestyle again, and says, please feel free to reach out if you require any further information or clarification. Like the judge was gonna give her a call.
Hey Mila, Judge Olmedo here. Just wanted to hear more about his unwavering commitments.
Ashton Kutcher's letter also tells us about Danny's unwavering commitment, this time to his wife. It should be noted that Ashton and Mila are married, so they may have copied each other a little. Ashton also mentions Danny keeping him away from drugs, and then tells a story about a time they were at a pizza parlor. Probably that one in DC where they did the child trafficking. And a belligerent man was berating his girlfriend. Danny was the first to jump to the defense of this girl, says Ashton, and that he chose to because the way this man was behaving was not right. Knowing what we know now, I don't think we want Danny telling people how to properly handle a woman who's being uncooperative, do we? He also tells us that he supported firefighters affected by 9/11. Like, no context there, just throwing in a reference to 9/11. Then his letter ends with a plea for clemency. I hope that my testament to his character is taken into consideration in sentencing. I do not believe he is an ongoing harm to society, and having his daughter raised without a present father would a tertiary injustice in and of itself. Should have got Mila to proofread this before it went out, Ashty, but did he actually say it would be an injustice for a man to go to prison and face consequences for his crimes because, oh, he's got a kid? Kids should be a get out of jail free card. Fuck that. So anyway, these letters go public, and like a YouTuber, Ashton and Mila quickly put together their apology video. All this fucking thing needed was a ukulele.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
I love how rehearsed it is. Like they each have their lines. There's a point where Mila seems to be waiting for Ashton to finish his. She almost talks and then thinks, oh, he still has to say sorry, I don't want to step on that. She really has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to saying her lines right. Now, they're not sorry about anything they said or wrote. They're sorry that the letters, which as they say, were intended for the judge to read, were made public. That's all they're sorry for. Not, oh, I'm sorry I said a rapist shouldn't serve jail time, or, oh, I'm sorry I defended a sex pest. Just, sorry the victims might have been re-traumatized by reading our letters where we tell you our creep friend wasn't a creep. He was a good guy who loved 9/11 firefighters and hated pizza bullies. But here's the thing. Before everyone watching this gets too sanctimonious, let's look at some interesting data. According to a study in England, 76% of Brits said that they would definitely report their best friends or family for rape. 12% said they'd probably report them, and the remaining 12% said either probably not, definitely not, don't know, which is a probably not, or prefer not to say, which might as well be absolutely would take part. So 12% of Brits are like, oi, if I knew a rapist real well, I'd keep mum about it, especially if it was me mum. In the US, oh boy, a University of Michigan study found that, when it came to someone that they were close to, about 75% of people would confront a person about an immoral act, but less than 12% would actually report a crime, while nearly 20% said that they would support their friends. In fact, as many people said that they would do nothing as said that they would report it. So, you got 20% of Americans walking around actively saying, oh yeah, I'd support my friends if they were forcing themselves on women. Go get them, Danny! So, I think there might be more than a few hypocrites out there shaming Ashton and Mila for writing a letter when 1 in 5 Americans would support their friends' crimes, while only 1 in 8 Americans would turn them into the police. Oh, and this kills me as well. After his conviction, a bunch of people felt compelled to post, oh, he's probably innocent. They just wanted his money. If he was guilty, they'd have caught him immediately. Why is it that these internet goofballs all think every person in Hollyweird is a pedo freak who went to Epstein's Island? They're all in sex cults, transing their kids, whatever. But when one of them is actually tried and convicted in a court of law, oh, not them though. It's a conspiracy. These women were liars. He wasn't following the agenda. That's why they put him away. Just try and be consistent with your mental illnesses. That's all I'm asking. Fold your tinfoil hats the same way every time. Anyway, good luck to Danny, I guess. His career took off when he was on that 70s show, but in prison, they'll be calling him that 70s hoe. Make sure to demonstrate an unwavering commitment to not dropping the soap.